Hey, it's Jack. I love Asiatic bows, but the biggest problem with them is they're still too big for modern cities, especially when you try to go to public transportation, on a bus, you know, taking it to a taxi. It's a hassle. Of course, bringing this is going to attract a lot of attention, but you would put it in a bow sock or a case so that it doesn't look like a bow anymore, but it's still a very long thing that's quite a hassle to carry. And that's just the bow. You also have to carry the arrows and the accessories and all that stuff. So I like the takedown versions more because it's just more convenient. So that's why I got a takedown bow today. Is by Top Archery / Huntingdoor. I think they're very similar companies, maybe the same company, but here it is. This is the bow. It's a takedown, of course, and I love that it fits this tiny little package in the context of archery. You see, I have to carry a tripod as well, which is holding my camera. That's why this giant case is needed, so that I can carry the tripod and the arrows as well, so that it can carry everything. But when I'm walking down the street with this, as long as I don't have swords, spears, and armor, like what I'm wearing now with swords and spears, I'm not going to attract any attention. Nobody on the street is going to think twice looking at me with this. But they're definitely going to think twice when I carry this. Now, to make this extra compact, I have the small arrows to shoot instead, which means I also brought chainmail and glove armor to protect my hands. This way it would be safer for me, but I don't recommend these small arrows. If you want to do this, use normal size arrows or pull to the maximum draw length that the arrows allow. So you could bring shorter arrows like 20 inches, but you have to, you know, pull to the 20 inches only. So let's check out the bow. This one, I think Huntingdoor calls it a Qing Dynasty bow, but it's not. It's more of a Ming Dynasty bow. It's very classic of a Ming Xiaoshao. You see with the Siyas, or a Tatar bow. You can call this a Tatar bow with the Siyas, you can see. So here's the takedown, and all you do is put it into the mechanism and voila. Historically, they had takedown bows, but they're more of a construction method where you splice it and then you put it in. It's not something you can just conveniently do this and then when you're done with the shooting, do that. They did exist for the bamboo versions, but for the military horn sinew bows, you can't do that because you still have to layer the sinew, and it wouldn't be structurally sound enough. But now we're ready to shoot this thing. Right. Now, don't think of these as tactical bows in the sense that you can just pull it out of your bag and start shooting already. No, it does take a while to assemble and disassemble. But folks, this is the cheapest Asiatic takedown laminated bow that I can find. Got to put the Asiatic word in there, of course, because modern takedowns is its own thing. But it's laminated. I mean, there's much cheaper versions, but they're the pure plastic limbs instead, or solid fiberglass. But this is laminated with bamboo and fiberglass sandwiched in. Quite classic of the modern Chinese bow designs, and I like it because historically it was very similar, except they use sinew and horn and bamboo, or they would use bamboo with wood instead, sometimes with sinew. So I just like this design a lot because it's very similar to the historical designs, but more reliable with the fiberglass, and the fiberglass does look like horn, which is nice. It's a little too glossy for me, but that's okay. And let's shoot it with our favorite arrow tubes. I also have a bamboo version, which I'll test out. I like the bamboo ones, it's more organic. So for safety, I have gloves, and then I have modern chainmail. This modern chainmail is made of modern steel, designed for kitchen purposes. But this would give me very good protection because the arrows are not needle bodkins. If they were needle bodkins, I wouldn't shoot this way. But because they're modern field points, they're actually quite blunt in the context of what I use them for. So in terms of the arrows that I'm using, they're field points and they're relatively blunt. What I find is that because I'm doing partial draw, you're not getting 100-something joules out of this. So this is actually, I find, quite protective, and I've tested it before, and it does not completely penetrate the glove, which is nice. And folks, I am ready. Again, I want to warn you, do not do this. Use long arrows. I'm doing it for myself because I'm responsible for my own safety, but I want you guys to know, do not use these kind of arrows. Instead, use the long arrows for your purposes of entertainment. These things you cannot pull full draw because it's so light. It'd be quite dangerous to shoot full draw, so it's more of a half partial draw. And I personally find Slavic draw much better than thumb draw for its reliability. And there you go, it shoots. Pretty nice, eh? Okay, let's try a heavier arrow now. Okay, so now with the shoehorn version, which is much longer, I will shoot some conventional draw lengths. Thumb draw with this one. Wow! I can find back in the day, if they want to skirmish and they use these baby arrows, you could have like 300 arrows and he could still walk, you know. But with with that many arrows for an archer, like with proper length arrows, that's almost impossible. Oh, it's satisfying to get a much longer draw without worrying about your hand. That's always satisfying with long arrows. I'm still kind of paranoid from my shorter arrow experience, but don't need to worry when you're doing long draw with these guys.